Hello, all you hardcores. Welcome to part two. We're joined by Jerry. Women love him, men want to be him. How are you doing, Jerry?
I'm all right, mate. How's things?
All right. Jerry, do you know your Larry Holmes, Ken Norton photo? Is that from 1978 when they fought for the title?
It sure is, mate. Yeah,
Yeah. Look,
brilliant fight. One of my most favorite ones.
they went at it, didn't they, in them pony boots?
Yeah, that's right. The pony boots and the pony shorts.
Well, he's
Yeah,
got
great fight. I remember the
Jerry,
first time I saw that.
Jerry, he's got Everlast shorts, and if you look, Ken
Yeah,
Norton,
mate.
he's got Everlast shorts on, not pony.
There you go.
There you go, Jerry. Jerry, Specsavers, they've got a sale on.
I can't actually see it. I can just see your bake. Bake means face, by the way.
Yeah. Oh,
That's Belfast speak.
yeah. Okay. Right. I asked Sean the other night what he were on, and me and Andy have
Yeah.
spoken about this, but I haven't really asked you. Has Dylan White and Anthony Yard been froze out by Brick Top? Yes or no?
I think um I think the answer is more than likely yes. Um Dylan White's tried harder, I think, to make it look like he hasn't been frozen out. With a couple of crappy fights um, last year,
Yeah.
and I think all evidence points to some sort of ban. Has to be some sort of ban that White's had, and his way around it is by fighting somewhere where he doesn't need a UK boxing license. So on the surface of it, somebody maybe too not too bothered about the details probably doesn't think that statement's true, but realistically, it is because he's he's not being talked about by anybody, and neither he should really, in my opinion. The amount of times he's been done for doping, and I think he's doing everything he can to just keep himself kind of being chatted about, just by the kind of the tag team in that he's having fights with. So it'll be interesting to see what he does going forward. With Anthony Yard, something completely different, because he's still a viable guy in my opinion, but he's just been in the wilderness for ages, and you know how Frank Warren operates. You know the history of certain guys that he's had problems with, and you know he likes to employ these kind of tactics, and I think it's kind of clear that Anthony Yard has been a little bit frozen out. Not a little bit, sorry, quite a bit, but it's been quite detrimental to his career because it just doesn't look like it's going anywhere, and it's totally stalled. And I'm not really sure what the way back for him is unless he gets rid of Tunde and looks for new management and some sort of new representation. I don't know. I do think it's a bit of a shame though because he doesn't seem to have any appetite to fight anybody, and a few times it's kind of popped up. Um, you know, the last one I seen was Billum Smith, I think, saying something about he wouldn't fight him, and Billum Smith explained himself well, as to why he wouldn't, and I understood his position, but at the same time, you know, at the same time, you could say that that's part of the this being frozen out. That not even somebody in a division above who's just lost a title is bothered about fighting him. So he's kind of like a marked man, just being avoided.
Yeah. Do you think that Yard surrounded himself with wrong people?
I mean, it certainly seems that he has. Um, sometimes these management arrangements don't work out for as long as you want them to. and you just need to know when to move on. And I think Anthony Yard had probably got the wake up call maybe about a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, that
Yeah.
it was time to maybe start moving on, because it just looks like his management they aren't on the right side of the tracks, basically, and it's having consequences on his career. But I mean, I don't know what the loyalty is, if he has loyalty or if it's something else. It's making Anthony Yard kind of sort of, I don't know. I just get the impression he's totally disillusioned, really, which is a shame because he's missing out prime years. So, but I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah. Do you think old Tunde Ajayi running around shouting, dream it, believe it, become it, and lions in the camp? Do you think all that nonsense basically did Bricktop's head in, or do you think it was the fact that they either wanted to fight Kovalev, better be from have massive money, or they wanted to fight Hungarian plumbers? Do you think do you think there were no middle ground, and that's where it all went wrong for them?
Yeah, it certainly there was certainly a suggestion coming from them that seemed that was the case, which was a bit rich, because I felt like every time Yard lost, what he needed to do was go back into the middle guys, because essentially that's what he became. So I don't know if it was an ego thing, or we're too good to take on this kind of guy. So the only time we're going to fight is if it's going to be the top guy, or else we're going to take a safe option and fight.
You reckon? You there, Jerry? Have you gone missing, Jerry? Jerry, are you there?
I am it. Yeah, can you hear me?
What happened there, Jerry?
I'm still hearing me. I'm not sure. I was talking away. Did I cut out?
Yeah, you're not having your cock sucked, are you, Jerry?
I am not. No.
Go on, Jez. I don't know you with that mullet. I bet women are all over you where you live, aren't they?
No.
They won't be you
can
if you
you
let your
can you
call.
hear
That's
me? Okay.
fine
Yeah.
out, Jerry.
Well, of course, but
Oh,
that's why I've been with her for 12 years.
go on, Jerry. I'm proud of you. Okay, then. We spoke about Dylan White. We spoke about Chisora, Fury, and Joshua. But what about the White Rhino, aka his new name, the Lazy Rhino? He's back. He's stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet. And he's saying that he's taking it serious. He's even been on Talksport calling out Johnny Fisher. What's going on there?
Well, that's it seems to be a different story week by week, doesn't it?
Yeah, I
I
know.
mean, it was only the other week. It was only the other week he was saying, "Oh yeah, I did lose." Yeah, totally back and down. So I don't know.
He's
He,
not
he should have
saying
been
that
like that
now,
from
is
the
he?
start.
He's not saying that now, is he, Jerry? He's saying he won.
Well, that's the way he should have been from the start. So stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet. We'll see. We'll see if he can back that up.
I want it. I sent a video today to Andy on M1 going by Tib Shelf Services, looking across right hand side, living large Bosch. Daddy Fudd laid on a settee in a pair of black boxers
Unbelievable.
on a massive billboard. It's still there. All the people said it's not there. Andy's got the video. It's still there. But what can you do? I don't
No
think I'll be
shame.
seeing that for a bit. But it is what it is. I want White Wino to just put Elmer Fudd out in his misery and get him gone out of sport. I don't like these gimmicks. Even though White Rhinos wasn't a gimmick, but he ended up being a gimmick due to his own daftness. Oh, it's Daft Dave. Light-hearted entertainment. It's his own
Yeah.
stupid fault, right? But I want him to absolutely flatten young Fisher and send him packing. I want to run hard at sport.
Do you not think it's more the dad though? It's the most unlikable part of that whole,
Yeah, his
setup.
dad's made it into a spectacle out of greed because they want to get a pound note off at
Yeah,
tickets. And earns are going to encourage all that, aren't they? With all this Bosch and Romford Bull nonsense and Johnny Bosch and listen, at the end of the day, he's a big stiff dummy who gets on talk sport, kisses everybody's arse. Even his rivals is saying, oh, he's a great fighter, he's a great fighter, I've got respect for him and that. Listen, grow a pair of knackers, Johnny Fisher Jr., and people might start liking you instead of walking around with this stupid Elmer Fudd persona, you dummy, you big stiff dummy. You're like a poor man's Joe Joyce, you big stiff. Do you know what I mean? That's why we're pissed off. And then seeing them going to a Chinese and carrying off like that. Well, they made a laughing stock of it all. They thought they had the gad in the pocket, didn't they?
yeah, yeah.
So they turned on them.
Seems to be what's happened.
It is what it is. Who's Bombay Dave training at the moment?
Doesn't look like he's been too busy at the minute. He's just seems to be going on various other YouTube channels and giving hour-long interviews and talking about certain things and making it sound like he's a completely different guy on certain things where he had different opinions a year or two ago. So
Yeah.
he doesn't seem to be too bothered about the training.
See what I've done today, you see, right? I did 3 videos while I were away this weekend. I'm back now, but I did 3 videos. And I think one of them, Bombay Dave's on one of thumbnails, and other one, Flex, is on one of them. I didn't even mention them in videos, but I only stuck them on because I know that they'll watch because they're obsessed by their own PR. Now, a pair of them couldn't train people to have a piss up in a brewery. If you look at the moment, nobody's interested in them to either. The spent forces, aren't they, as regards trainers?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because they've played the game because they learnt off well, Bombay Dave's learnt off Brendan, hasn't he? Who ended up throwing him out at gym.
yeah,
Then he went running to Chris Smedley's and Chris threw him out at gym as well. And Flex has learnt off his old man, Brendan. So AKA a good trainer. But Brendan knew how to play the game, didn't he? Right. So they've learnt off him. But look what's ended up with that Ingle gym now. It's a mess. They don't do any amateurs. He's not training any pros of note. Bombay Dave's what's he doing? Few boxercise classes got somebody doing that. What's all that about? They've burnt that many bridges, the knackered pair of them. Right? They've filled the boots, right? Bombay Dave can't go crawl into Bricktop because he jumped in bed with Eddie Hills over 10 years ago, didn't he?
yep,
So
yep. That's
basically, what
right.
you're looking at now is, well, I don't know about Flex because he's more of a brass than Bombay Dave, but Bombay Dave can't go running to Bricktop. If he did, he'd feel really uncomfortable. So he's made his bed. He's gonna have to lie in it now, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's live by the sword, die by the sword.
Well, that's it's tough at the top, as they say, don't they? Do you know what I mean? But way I see it is
Exactly.
this, right? If they'd have all played the game properly, they'd have been all right, wouldn't they? But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just not the popular thing to do these days, it seems.
Okay, right, let's get on to Crusher and Eubank. This rehydration clause, it's doing me head in, this, Jerry. Doing me head in. What do you think's going to happen with this rehydration clause? They're saying that Eubank Jr. can't rehydrate more than £10 on the morning at fight because they don't eat much do they after morning at fight. So if he can't rehydrate
Yeah,
more than £10, he's saying he's not happy with that. But yeah, he knew that from day one. So I don't know where he's coming from with that. But why ain't Eddie talking about rehydration clause? And is there going to be any drug testing? That's what I want to know. Nobody's mentioning drug testing, are they, for this? Do you know what I mean?
no,
So I just
and they
wonder
should
what
be. They should be mentioning that.
Yeah, well, I just wondered what your thoughts were on it because Crusher seems to have got away scot-free, but has he? He's running around like an headless chicken saying, bro, 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 I'm coming up 2 weight divisions. No, you're not. You last fought at welterweight 33 months ago. Now, when you fight Eubank, it'll be 3 years since your last welterweight fight. Since then, you've been walking around, in your words, at 175 to 178, and you've been fighting at 154, right? So Crusher's technically a light middle, moving up to middle. Do we agree, Jerry?
Yeah, I agree.
So why is he running around
On
saying it's 2 weight divisions when it's one? You know I have to correct you when ice breaks, Crusher, don't you? Bro, 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 heated steering wheels. Bro, 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 heated seats. Bro, bro, bro. I had heated seats when I was a teenager in an XR3 X-Reg. It wasn't even an I, it was just an XR3, bog standard with a Pico. So get gone, you heated seats. Do you think nobody in Wales ever had heated seats? My God, what planet are these lunatics on from the lunatic asylum?
don't know, mate. He's a very unlikable guy, though. I'll tell you that much.
It's very what?
Ben, he's a very unlikable guy. I don't care what Simon Jordan says. He's a nice guy when he's not putting on the act. He comes across like an entitled arsehole. Um, you know, he's went about trying to get people on his side the wrong way, in my opinion. I don't know who likes Connor Ben. Do you know what I mean? Who actually likes Connor Ben? You don't like him. I don't like him. Andy doesn't like him.
I don't like it. Listen,
You
man, I'm
know,
fed up of people like the Gad and Simon Jordan saying, he's a nice guy, he's a nice guy. Well, why is he trying to play villain then? And why don't he come out and admit how these two lots of clomiphene were it got into his system months apart? How can that be? How can that be? And why have we had no explanation? We're nearly 3 years on from his last fight in UK. Nearly 3 years. Do you know what I mean?
where's the 500-page dossier? That's what I want to know.
There were 274 pages, Jerry. Get it right.
That's all right. Same thickness as the yellow pages.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if Eddie Hills is going to come out and explain it all in his book. You know about my how I got to the top and came back down in boxing. You know after Bricktop squashed him like the bug he is.
Like, is this going to be his follow-up biography?
Oh my! What to that other thing that he came out? Oh my God! Bricktops is even worse. Oh, worst book I've had is John Fury's when he was driving. He was driving through Miles Platin in Manchester, and with helicopter above him, right, and Volvo T5s following him, and he was just powering on in a Cosworth. I swear to God, mate,
Jesus.
honestly, his book, if you turned it into a film, it'd be The Fast and the Furious 17, starring Vin Diesel and John Fury from Fury Power. What a load of rubbish. Flatting head on.
Oh,
Flatting
you're
head on
almost
100
making me
miles
want
an
to watch
hour,
it.
Jerry.
Unbelievable.
Hey?
I wouldn't want to read that book, but you're making it sound kind of interesting
What
now,
about
just
when
for a
he
laugh.
beat the arm wrestling guy? He beat this big arm wrestling guy with 25-inch arms, bigger than Arnold Schwarzenegger's. John said it muscles don't mean note, it's about power and strength. And John pulled his arm out in his socket. He says, I bowled him over in front of all the pub. Over the top. He was like, he made Sly Stallone look tame in that film. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe
I
it.
wonder, does he think that about?
Jerry, I couldn't put it down. What about when he went to Ibiza and there were mass orgies, bags of drugs, bottles of Jack Daniels and that, and streaking up beach and that? Sounds like Mick Jagger.
Rockstar?
Listen, mate, John Fury makes Charlie Sheen look normal.
That's saying something.
Yeah. Simon Jordan, what do you think about his performance lately on Talksport? Again, a lot of sticking comment section, a lot of people hammering him, saying that he's gone back on his word from when he started and he's now been softened up and that. Do you think that's still the case? Because he's tried to get tough this last couple of weeks since Fury's retirement, hasn't he? And since he lost to Usyk. What do you think?
That's I'm actually intrigued if people are saying that because I've caught can't stand talk sport. It pisses me off. But I watched two videos this week because the titles sort of drew me in because it looked like they were actually going to be given it to Fury. So I watched them this week, and I actually couldn't believe Simon Jordan was. Yeah, it looks like if I'm going to take him for his word, it looks like he's actually fed up with him himself, and I think I think he came across genuine. He still talks a bit of knackers, like saying that it wasn't the best version of Tyson Fury, blah blah blah, and he had some big kind of argument with Frank Warren, which was ridiculous because I don't know, Frank Warren was just talking shit about Dillian White for some reason, and trying to I don't know convince us all that Tyson Fury's done the right thing in his career, etc., etc., etc. And Simon Jordan was basically saying, "Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about when he was fighting Alexander Usyk." And I just think I hope that he's going to be now, more like what we all wanted him to be whenever he first kind of showed up on Talksport. Giving it to them properly, but and none of this kind of he just rolls over as soon as he gets any kind of resistance. Um, it's probably wishful thinking, and he probably is still gonna you know turn on a dime just depending on what day of the week it is. But certainly the things I've seen with Simon Jordan this week, he seems like he's been a little bit tougher on things. And just looking at him, he looked like he was being genuine. He looked like he was fed up with the whole nonsense with Fury. And I think that's good. And he should do that for his own credibility because the likes of, well, from my own point of view, I would basically say he let me down because he just looked like he wanted to go out and with Tyson Fury on a date. Um, no objectivity at all, at whatsoever. He just was, everything Tyson Fury was rose tinted glasses. So let's hope he's had a wee bit of a reality check and he's seen him for what he really is, because he's been a bit of a he's just bullshitted his whole career, in my opinion. So
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. What did you think about Triple T's appearance on Talksport saying there's no 500 million for Fury? That were a bit surprising, wasn't it? That he came out straight away to respond to that. Do you think Tyson and his handlers got it all wrong?
maybe it could be somebody's gotten uh cross wires down the line, but I think it's good that he's put things in place because uh it could be some kind of it could backfire if that was given that that's going to be the status quo, and then when it comes to making a deal somewhere down the line, Fury's like, you said it was going to be this or whatever. So it's good to clear up these kind of things before they get out of hand. So nobody gets the wrong idea and basically expects this amount of money when it's only going to be another amount of money. Um, but yeah, I think that's good that he's willing to come on here and discuss that type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree, mate. I agree. Okay. Old Man Eubank. Terry's calling for Old Man Eubank and Old Man Ben to have a four-rounder before Crusher and Junior fight at Tottenham Ground in April. I mean, if it happens, that is. Do you think that'd be? Do you think fans would want to see that in an exhibition?
Oh my God. I'm gonna say the likes of me and you wouldn't really be interested in that, but
No.
there will be people that probably would be interested in that. unfortunately. Um, the very idea of that just makes me think that's why boxing's in the gutter with a lot of these things, because it's just novelty nonsense. I really hope that doesn't happen.
Just how it's gone, though, isn't it, Jerry? That.
Yeah, it's like we can make some silly novelty fight. Well, I mean, the Eubank Ben is almost a novelty fight because do they have any business fighting each other anyway, other than the fact that years ago their two dads were rivals? So this type of thing sells and is easier to promote than two guys, top of their division, but maybe they're in a, they're bantamweight and nobody gives a damn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is a bit sad.
Yeah. Okay. Moses Atome, can he go all the way, or is it just hype?
It's way too early to say. It basically, I think, need to forget stupid stuff like breaking records. Um, Forget about that. Just concentrate on making the right steps, and obviously, you know, letting his abilities flourish, getting him the right experience, and moving him up the ladder gradually. Um, you know, it's there to ruin his career basically. So they need to just be real and let things go naturally rather than forcing any stupid kind of putting him in with the wrong guy or doing something and it all goes wrong. Because I do genuinely think he's got talent. But I'll say this: I think Terry mentioned this last week as well. Um, he's not been hit yet. Let's see him. Let's see how he can handle some punishment himself, because it's all well and good being a knockout artist, but if you're made of glass yourself, like you can be shattered just as easily. So it's we need to wait and see what happens with that one, Russ.
Do you think it could be a Michael Grant job?
It could be. It's there to ruin, like I'm saying. You know, he's got the skills. He's on his toes. I love his movement. Reminds me of like guys back in the day. He's super fast. He's very explosive. He's got a good attitude for a young fella in
Yeah.
this day and age. He's got a good attitude. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders. It's there to fuck up basically. So fingers crossed, because he could be a very, very exciting guy in the future to become, Britain's next heavyweight champion in the world. And he could end up being, you know, getting his name in the history books. It's just very early to say what's going to happen. So you just need to see what way he goes next. I heard he's calling out Hergovich. Maybe it's not too early for him to go in against Hergovich. It'd be certainly a good test for him. What do you think?
Yeah, well, if he does Ergovic, right, the comparisons statistically can be made with Mike Tyson, can't they, really, if he beats Ergovic
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
at this early in his career, age 20, an Olympic medalist. So you could say that, although he's not Mike Tyson because he had that bit of a backstory and all that, and because he'd done various vile things as a youngster, people
yeah.
bought into him, didn't they? As this like monster and baddest man on the planet, whereas this other kid's a bit more clean cut, isn't he? So we're going to
Could be
see,
good.
aren't we? We're going to see, aren't we? We'll finish off on this then. Puppy Parsons, what do you think to his performance on Dazzo? Obviously, he's an arse licker. But and he's a company man, and he's going to do as he's told. But I thought he looked quite smart in his suit. What do you think, Jerry?
For all the stick he gets, and I was listening to something Hatman did the other day about Puppy Parsons being is kind of Eddie Hearn's kind of lackey or whipping boy whenever Turkey Al Sheikh gives Eddie Hearn some shit and then he takes it out on Puppy Parsons. I mean, he's a young fella. Obviously he likes the sport and he's trying to make a name for himself as kind of media guy or journalist or whatever. So that was a brave move to stick him in there. I thought he did okay. And yeah, he did. You know, he obviously looked quite well in his get up. Um, you know, you never know what he could become. He could become like a more established media personality in the future. He is a bit of an arse slick, and he does try to ask some questions. It's obviously not tough enough questions, but the guy has to walk a tightrope in terms of stepping over the mark and then getting shot down for it. And he's at this early stage in his career where he can't afford to do that, really.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Okie dokie. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Jerry. You've been a real addition to the commission. How's about that one? It's like a line that I've nicked off. Big Malk with his loyal from loyalty to royalty. His Don King one line as well. I invent my own Big Malk with your giant bins. Hey,
No
just
worries, mate.
before
Thank
I
you very
go,
much.
before we go, what did you think to Big Malk's interview? I forgot what channel it on. Every interview that Big Malk's doing now, he's dropping his excellency into interviews. Is he trying to get up his ringer?
You know, Bill Big Milk. He loves to get up any ringers he can. So yeah, probably Russ.
Big Malk, there's no room at the inn for you. Pop, pop, when you were Mr. MTK and you were bigging them up as, no, they've never done no wrong in their lives and all that. What happened to them, Big Malk? I hope you're going to send them postal orders in when they go to prison, you whopper. Great then, Jerry. I'm off for some lasagna and a glass of rosé. You take care, mate. Have a great evening.
No worries, mate. You too.
Cheers,
Take it
pal.
easy, mate.
Bye-bye. Bye. Well, that was Jerry from Northern Ireland. Women fancy him, men want to be him. And that's about it, really. We've had Jerry on. Next, we've got Big Sean on in a one-parter because he's under fun. Right, one piece out. And then we've got Andy, who's not from Aberdeen. He's on later in a two-parter. He's going for that 100 quid this month. But where is Kent? The hardcore's hardcore. What's happened to Kent? Come on, Kent. What's happening? Are you losing it? One piece out.